We are live for Shabbat here on YouTube. We're working on Facebook, but thank you for being with us as we join together for this beautiful Shabbat.
Welcome, everybody. Please join together in your voices. We're so grateful to see your faces. We can't hear your voices, but we can connect, maybe subtly, but it's a real connection when we sing together. So please raise your voices, whether you're with us on Zoom, on Facebook, any other platform, watching live, watching in the future. We want you to sing along.
We can hear somebody's echoing, so somebody who's watching needs to
join together in your voices. We're so grateful to see your faces. We can't hear your voices, but we can connect, maybe subtly, but it's a real connection when we sing together. So please raise your voices, whether you're with us on Zoom, on Facebook, any other platform. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la I see you singing. Looks like it feels really good. Everybody join in. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la, ya la 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 ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la.
Shalom, everybody. We are so glad to be with you, to celebrate Shabbat with you at the end of this special week. We hope that you are all filled with hodu, both literally and spiritually. And if you'll remember, hodu is turkey and also gratitude. It was so moving seeing all of your pictures on social media, smaller turkeys for smaller households, takeout with your kitty cats, laptops on the tables with family and friends around the country. All of you making sacrifices on behalf of the most vulnerable among us. We are grateful for you. We're grateful for this community, and we are grateful for Shabbat. We join together now as we light our candles and sing our blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav V'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
So beautiful. Continue now with welcoming our Sabbath and the bride as we sing together. לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה שמור וזכור בדיבורך השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם תפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תהילה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה. We rise to greet the Sabbath bride together. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לך דודי לך דודי לך דודי.
So good to be together with everyone for this amazing Shabbat service. During that first prayer, Cantor Michaels mentioned to us that we should stand at that one moment in Lecha Dodi when we are welcoming the Sabbath bride. But the challenge that we face in a Zoom virtual digital service is the question of, do we rise or not at various moments of our service? And so the rabbis and the cantors dialogued this week about that question and did a little bit of research into our rabbinic tradition. And it turns out that there is a custom of seeing Shema uvirchoteha, Shema and all of its blessings, from the Baruch Hu to the end of the V'ahavta, as one unit of prayer. What the rabbis teach us is that when you begin that moment of prayer, whatever position you are in is the position in which you stay through the entire moment of Shema and its blessings. So tonight, you have a choice as Reformed Jews. You can choose to stand if that's your custom and sit as you desire throughout our service. You can stand and remain standing through the entirety of the Shema, or you can remain seated as I will tonight and participate in a bit of Kabbalat, of putting yourself into this spiritual moment of prayer, not worrying about if you're standing or sitting. Throughout our service, the choice is yours. But I'm going to be devoting myself to prayer, to connection, to my spiritual moment at this incredible, special time in the week. And so with that, you have the choice to make, standing or sitting now for the Baruch Hu and throughout our service. We continue with this call to worship. Having welcomed God into this spiritual space across the universe, we now turn to the words of Shema if we only listen to what is happening inside of our souls.
If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, then listen, listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen, listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all your mind. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter that gets in the way, and listen, listen to our God. When the wind and the thunder finally disappear, there's still a voice that you will hear if you listen, listen to our God. You can hear it from the top of the highest hill, or from the valley below. It can come from the edge of the universe, can come from within your soul. Close your eyes and listen. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Kavod, Shem Kavod, Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Listen, listen to our God. Listen, listen to our God.
With all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. Try sing that back to me. With all your heart, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. Love the one your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might, and with all your strength. Love the one your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might, and with all your strength. With all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might, with all your strength. With all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might, with all your strength. Love the one your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might, and with all your strength. Love the one your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might, and with all your strength.
When we learned last week that we had to pivot at the very last moment from the live recorded services we had been planning to these safer Zoom services, I suggested to my colleagues that we call this our Zoom Gali Gali service. It didn't go over so well, but it reminded me of that old song, the folk song from the early days of Israel's creation that we used to sing in Sunday school, Zoom Gali Gali Gali, Zoom Gali Gali. And the verse is, Hechalutz leman avodah, avodah leman hechalutz, which means the pioneer for the sake of work, and work for the sake of the pioneer or settler. And then it occurred to me that the word avodah actually has two meanings. The second meaning is worship. And that is what we are really doing, what we have been doing for these last 9 months. We are pioneers in the field of worship. We are praying in new ways that we've never tried before, and discovering some beautiful things on the way, I hope. And if you think about it, that is exactly what the Israelites at the shores of the Red Sea were doing. Face it, they did not have worship services. These were slaves. So when they got to the shores of the Red Sea and they were in crisis, as one, they raised their voices and said, Mi chamocha Adonai, it was like as if they were saying, Golly, Lord, who is like you? So if I were really cruel, I would ask Cantor Smolash to sing Mi chamocha to the tune of Zoom Gali Gali. I'm not going to do that because I didn't warn him. But looking at all these faces on this screen, I do say a prayer. I do say to myself, Golly, Lord, it is really good to see all of these friends together again on this Zoom as we sing together the Mi Chamocha.
We won't do it, but that works great. Have you tried it? Mi chamocha ba'elim Madonna. I think you're a genius, right? We're gonna have to arrange that, but please join me in the programmed Mi chamocha. Mi chamocha, mi chamocha. like thee.
Before we sing the Hashkivenu, I was thinking about what is it that we're really asking for? We're praying to God for protection, for safety, being able to live our lives in a way that's peaceful, in a way that's joyous with the people that we love. And so there's actually a prayer from the Navajo Nation that I really love, and I wanted to share it with you. I think it conveys a lot of what the prayer is trying to say. It goes like this: watch over me, hold your hand before me in protection. Stand guard for me, speak in defense of me. As you speak for me, so will I speak for you. May it be beautiful before me. May it be beautiful behind me. May it be beautiful below me. May it be beautiful above me. May it be beautiful all around me. Restore me in beauty.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom Mehamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred and sorrow and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Lechaim.
Allowing the beautiful music to wash over us, we turn inward, standing in our hearts. We join together in the prayer, Hatfilah. Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi hagi tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, ve'Hanora, Elyon gomel chasadim tovim, v'konei ha'akol, v'zocher hasteavot v'himaot, u'mevi geula livnei v'neihem, l'man shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, ve'ezrat Sarah. We continue silently through the Amidah. We'll meet you on the other side. Be holy, hear the whisper, the quiet, gentle voice. Be holy, hear the whisper that helps us make the choice to be like God. To be like God. Be holy, hear the whisper, present every day. Be holy, hear the whisper, teaches us the way to be like God. To be like God. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Be holy, hear the whisper that guides each word and deed. Be holy, hear the whisper, reminding us we need to be like God. To be like God. Be holy, hear the whisper, the warmth of love's embrace. Be holy, hear the whisper, giving us the grace to be like God. To be like God. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Be holy, hear the whisper. Be holy, hear the whisper. Be holy, hear the whisper.
During these last weeks, I have made an effort. During these last weeks, I've made an effort to avoid watching a great deal of the news. But whenever I do watch the news, the one piece of news that touches my heart consistently, when a doctor or a nurse who's been working for long hours speaks to us about their patients, the patients that they are caring for, the patients that sadly they have lost. So our Mishaberach begins with a prayer for their health. And it moves on for each one of us to think about those we love who have lost someone who is important to them because the medical care was just not able to provide everything. But in losing, they have found strength. The Mishaberach prayer reminds us not of our losses, but of our prayer for health for all of those who are important to us. When we are down, we need to be strengthened. When we've lost someone we care about, we need God's blessing. We need others to offer a prayer for us. And so as we say Mishaberach, may we all come together, praying for those who are ill, praying for those who are caring for those who are ill, praying for those who are hurt because they have lost someone dear and important in their life. We join together now with the Mishaberach.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Mikor habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah Shema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
17 years ago, I ate Thanksgiving dinner kind of on the floor. My family was living at U of M Hospital while taking care of my sister. Without being asked, a good friend sent dinner to us. We put it on the small coffee table in the waiting room and ate in shifts. Whoever wasn't at the bedside ate a little dinner. It is something our family talks about all the time, not just because it was probably the best food that we had eaten in about 2 weeks, but more, it arrived without us asking. We were then, and honestly still are today, struck by an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the friend who filled a need we didn't realize we had. It wasn't just food. It was a reminder that there was a world out there that remembered us and knew at the time that we could never have done this for ourselves. I have to be honest though, for years after that night, I was not a fan of Thanksgiving. I associated with Thanksgiving with fear and exhaustion. I was feeling it that night, and I felt it still. And I remember saying more than once to my family, can we just skip Thanksgiving this year? As you might imagine, that did not go over well. We never skip Thanksgiving. I guess it's kind of like when you get the stomach flu, you blame the food you ate last, and you say you're never going to eat it again because it made you so miserable. But then with time, you realize the food wasn't trying to kill you, and you remember that you love it and you eat it again. Thanksgiving wasn't to blame all those years ago. It wasn't Thanksgiving's fault that we were feeling far too much fear to feel a whole lot of gratitude. But I blame Thanksgiving anyway. It was an easy target. But our Thanksgiving came, thank God, in little steps every single day. And we are forever grateful for each one and every step taken since. I think I've told you before about Dr. Elvin Reines of blessed memory. He was a professor at HUC, the seminary that all of your rabbis and cantors attended, and was something of a renegade. Dr. Reines created something called Polydox Judaism. You can Google it and learn more about it if you wish. I don't agree with a lot of what he said. Sorry, Dr. Reines. But what resonated with me for sure is that he argued that Shabbat could happen any day. He believed that Shabbat was not tied to a day, but rather a circumstance. If Wednesday night is when your family can all sit at a table and share a meal, Shabbat. If you can take time away from work and school and spend time doing what you love with the people you love, every day could be Shabbat. Now, with great apologies to Dr. Reines, I am simplifying his much more sophisticated philosophy, but his intention resonates with me just the same. I imagine that each of you have felt the same, that a random Sunday night Chinese dinner with family or friends has felt far more meaningful than some holiday dinners. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to make certain dates on the calendar more significant than others, the food more plentiful and perfect, the table set, everyone dressed up just so. In our house last night, we chose to wear our formal pajamas. We talked about wearing something fancier from the waist up, and everyone agreed at the end of the day, the 3 squares on our Zoom were filled with people who really wouldn't care about what we were wearing. The food was good. We were all eating the same thing from our caterer. Can I plug her in a sermon? I can't see any of your faces, so if you're saying no, I can't see it. But sharing the same food made us feel a little closer. We could ask each other what we thought of the food, and we all loved it. Again, a bit of a shameless plug. In our house, we had placemats that said, "I am grateful for," with lines to fill in. So we filled in our lines and shared what we were grateful for. Our gratitude list was quite varied. Family and friends, FaceTime, video games, our cat, Netflix, ice cream, and of course, our health. Once again, we were spending Thanksgiving in a way we never thought we would. But once again, it wasn't Thanksgiving's fault that we couldn't be together. I know that now, 17 years later. I no longer hold Thanksgiving responsible. But there is something else I know. The day that we can be together again for a meal, whatever day of the week, whatever is on the table, will be Thanksgiving to me. It will feel like Thanksgiving and Shabbat and Passover and Rosh Hashanah and every Sunday night Chinese dinner that we have missed during coronavirus. I will offer a prayer of gratitude to God, to the scientists who created the vaccine. I will bless the freezer I have in my garage that allowed me to store extra food for my family, and the masks and face shields that gave us some protection when we had to go out into the world. On that incredible day, whatever day of the week, in whatever month, God willing, in 2021, I might fall to my knees and rest my head on the ground, like our cantors do on the high holidays, from the relief, the joy, and of course, the gratitude. It would be easy to look back at times when we took dinners and movie nights and traveling for granted. We all do it. It's hard to feel grateful for things we all do all the time without a second thought when things aren't threatened or stopped altogether. We could berate ourselves, I suppose, but that just moves the blame from Thanksgiving to ourselves. And I don't think we deserve the blame any more than Thanksgiving does. Even without the pandemic, our challenge is always how to realize how blessed we are every single day, and not just for what we have, but for what we can give. Something I didn't expect during COVID was how bereft I would feel by not being able to give the way I usually do, the way I like to. We concentrate on the thanks, but what about the giving? In a normal world, we would give our presents, our in-person, eye contact making, hand-holding presents. The gift of presents is one that many of us haven't been able to give to loved ones who are sick or in a nursing home. I have spoken to grandparents who haven't met their new grandchildren yet and are counting the seconds until the moment they can hold them and smell their little heads. At a funeral I did a few months ago, a daughter dropped to her knees next to her mother's grave, and I couldn't run to hold her up. I couldn't give her comfort. I couldn't touch her and attempt to absorb some of her grief. The day we can make eye contact again without a screen between us, Thanksgiving. The day we can reach out for someone's hand or give a hug or fall to our knees to hold someone else up, Thanksgiving. In a normal world, we would give of our time. We volunteer at temple, at our favorite charities, at our kids' schools. For many organizations, our volunteer time is the engine that keeps them going. Yes, they need our money too. Whatever we can give helps. But there is something about those in-person giving opportunities that makes this world go round. The day we can serve a meal instead of packing it up and dropping it off, Thanksgiving. The day we can build houses again, tutor children again, play music for isolated seniors again, Thanksgiving. I can't wait for those Thanksgiving days. I hope 2021 is full of them and every year after that. We don't have to punish ourselves for not realizing how incredibly full our lives are before so much of what gives them meaning is temporarily suspended. Don't bother. I've already tried it. Trust me, it doesn't help. It didn't change the past. And don't bother saying, why didn't I realize just how full my hands were? It's not productive. Our ancestors were just as distracted, and they didn't do this gratitude thing any better than we did. But they didn't allow that to interrupt their relationships or their ability to feel thanks and give of themselves. Let's take Jacob, for example. In this week's Torah portion, we read about Jacob's dream of the ladder reaching up to the heavens with angels going up and down the ladder. God speaks to Jacob in the dream, promising protection, inheritance of the land of Israel, and descendants as numerous as the sands on the beach. Quite a dream. You know what Jacob did when he woke up? He said, God was in this place, And I did not know it. He doesn't flog himself for being ignorant of God's presence before. He doesn't marinate in lack of recognition for God's role in his life, or how grateful he should be for the covenant assured to him by his lineage. No, Jacob wakes up and acknowledges that before, he lived as though he was on his own. His life choreographed by his mother, traditional blessings, and maybe the anger of his brother. Jacob didn't do that. Jacob wakes up and says, God was in this place. I didn't know it, but now I do. So from now on, I will give thanks and praise. What I think this Thanksgiving and Jacob can teach us is that Thanksgiving can happen any day and all the time. We may not have known it before, but now we do. And for that, together, let us give thanks and praise. Shabbat Shalom.
I've got a roof over my head. I've got a warm place to sleep. Some nights I lie awake counting gifts instead of counting sheep. I've got a heart that can hold love. I've got a mind that can think. There may be times when I lose the light and let my spirit sink, but I can't stay depressed when I remember how I'm blessed. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. In a city of strangers, I've got a family of friends. No matter what rocks and brambles fill the way, I know that they will stay until the end. I feel a hand holding my hand. It's not a hand you can see, but on the road to the promised land, this hand will shepherd me through delight and despair, holding tight and always there. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. It's not that I don't want a lot, or hope for more, or dream of more, but giving thanks for what I've got makes me so much happier than keeping score in a world that can bring pain. I will still take each chance, for I believe that whatever the terrain, our feet can learn to dance, whatever stone life may sling. We can moan or we can sing. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. Truly blessed and duly grateful.
What a song. Truly grateful I am. The words of the song, I actually made a note of it. My heart feels so full right now, and seeing your faces, it feels like we're together again, and it feels so good. As we reach the end of our service, we turn to the task of memory. And memory is such an important part of who we are as a Jewish community, and especially on this Thanksgiving weekend as we recall holidays past when we were surrounded by family and friends. And personally, I think I imagined that kind of Thanksgiving when I was cooking because we have so many leftovers. You know, memory is kind of a leftover. The parts of a person or an event that we hang on to and last far longer than the extra turkey and stuffing. The memories are what connect us to people, to those who we have loved and lost. The most delicious of leftovers for this Thanksgiving weekend. We cherish all of them and the memories that they leave behind. And so now we remember those who've died in recent days in the period of Shloshim, the last 30 days. Dr. Jerry Aronoff, Marty Bader, Brad Beck, Lisa Chinsky, Phyllis Eisenberg, Beverly Friedman, Ted Fournier, Yvette Cookie Goldberg, Sharon Goldenberg, Riva Gornbein, Rachel Greenberg, Phyllis Katz, Myrna Clayman, Sarah Steffa Kupfer, Howard Leishman, Howard Levinsky, Shirley Levy, David Marcus, Dory Miller, Lucille Miller, Stuart Mittenthal, Martin Norris, Beverly Nussbaum, Lynn Raimondo, Lois Rubin, Renee Saper, David Schaefer, Norma Shapiro, Dr. Sidney Sweifer, Valerie Swartz, and Robert Wallach. And to their names, we add those whose yard sites fall at this time. Michael Jason Altman, Bernard Arnold, Hyman Band, Betty Baines, Rose Belinsky, Pauline Bell, Jeffrey Kaminer, Irving Davis, B. Faber, Florence Feinstein, Gretel Frank, Karen Goldfein, William Goose, Heather Brevoort Heath, Irene Keeps, Arlene Kingston, Anna Kittner, Sheldon Lazar, Laura Levine, Patricia Lockman, Jack Medvin, Jean Morrison, Sarah Moskowitz, Benjamin Murov, Rita Portney, Fred Robinson, Lillian Rosenbaum, Charles Schwartz, Hannah Schwartz, Minnie Shankman, Morris Silber, Rose Bennett Solovich, Eve Stewart, Louis Sugarman, Eileen Thal, Henry Upfall, Alan Victor, Kenneth Weinstein, Bruce David Winokur, and Claire Winnick. Tehei Nishmotehen Surah B'Tzra Chaim. May their souls be bound up in the bond of everlasting life and memory. We turn now to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Feel free to rise if you choose. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirute v'amlich malchute, V'chayechon uvyomechon uvchayedecho Beit Yisrael. V'agala ubizman karev v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Leolam Omeomaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitala v'yitalal Shemei Dekudsha Barichu. La'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran v'alma v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh Shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh Shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved among us. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Let's sing out together. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kimalkeinu, Ein Kimoshienu. Eloheinu. Come on, y'all. Eloheinu, Adonenu, Malkeinu, Moshiach. Who is like our God? Who is like our God? Biggie for this Shabbat. Thanks, we give thanks to our God. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshiach. Blessed is our God. Blessed is our God. You have more to give, sing out loud. Blessed is our God. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, last one, you are our God. You are our God. You are our
Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat
everyone.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Now,
Shabbat
go to the
Shalom,
kitchen,
everyone.
get something good to eat.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.